as of tomorrow, we will be entering stage 2 of the province's plan for eased restrictions. That means that services like spas and personal care services, including movie theaters, and now gyms and pools, have the right to open. It means that the number of people who can gather indoors and outdoors has gone up slightly. It does not mean we can let our guard down. It does not mean the virus is gone. It does not mean there's a treatment. It does not mean there's a cure. It does not mean there's a vaccine. But as we look very carefully at where things are, we are now in a position where we will be able to wrap up our state of local emergency, which we declared on the 15th of March, so nearly 3 months. And we will allow that to lapse as of, is it midnight tonight, Tom? As of 12:01 tomorrow morning, just after midnight tonight. Now, this ends some things. It ends some of the powers granted to the chief of the Calgary Emergency Management Agency. It means Tom is omnipotent only in my life, not in all of your lives at this point. But actually, it doesn't change anything for citizens. This is something that helps us with the organization behind the scenes. But the rules, the orders, the guidelines are still very much in place. And we will continue to act as we need in being a partner to the province on this work. So while that state of emergency is being lifted, it actually doesn't change anything about the rules under which we have to continue to operate.
We've taken greater steps to show visual space in our green areas. So if you think about that, you've seen images of these from other cities. They're sort of the circles that are on the ground. As part of the pilot project, Parks has painted 50 temporary circles out there in 4 regional parks, the busy ones, to help Calgarians maintain that physical distancing and enjoy the parks. I think it's a great pilot just to remind us how we can do business. So those will be in Bowness, Riley, Princess Island, and North Glenmore, all very busy areas. Calgary Recreation is opening indoor city-operated recreation facilities for public use based on the updated direction from the province on Tuesday. The city is looking to open some facilities and restart programs as soon as the necessary resources are in place and processes are in place to take safe operations. In the past few months, the city has used the closure of the facilities to do a lot of work in terms of upgrades and those sorts of things. It's the perfect time if a pool is drained to regrout and take steps to repaint the lines, those sorts of things. And so in some cases, we'll have to finish that work off very quickly, refill, and get back into service. So the official reopening of the city indoor recreation facilities will be based on a number of those factors. The biggest one, I'd say, though, is the restaffing. We've laid off almost 1,200 staff in the area of our recreation and parks and pools. And so those folks, some of those folks will have to be brought back and a reorientation occurring, those sorts of things in order to open up properly. So the locations, dates, hours of operation will all be posted online as the information becomes available. But we do hope to have 4 to 5 aquatic and fitness facilities open, 2 arenas with 4 ice pads open and available, and actually a couple of dry pads for you to use. So I think it's about balance. I'll tell you from a personal perspective, some of my family members have said, so we can go back and do everything that we did before. And as a family, we've agreed, no, we're not. So while those are rules that may have changed for the province, they're not necessarily the rules that you need to follow. You can be tighter than those rules in your own family unit and in your own setting. And I encourage you to consider that. As I've stated before, the last thing that we want is another bounce on this COVID. Interestingly, there's apparently never been a pandemic without a second wave. And wouldn't the great Calgary story be that Calgary avoided a second wave of a pandemic?